Welcome back everybody, it's Go, and today my first day at job went good. Problem is, I didn't get to put out a video as soon as I wanted to, so today we are playing the FNM at Home historic event, and with 31 hours of the time of recording this, by the time you get to see this, it'll probably still be maybe 29 hours, maybe less, but this is the deck that I played to win. I ended up playing like 2 or 3 games with various decks, and I just got my butt beat a bunch of times, so this is the deck that I stuck with, and it is RAKDOS Pyromancer. So this is a Lurrus deck, and it's a combination of Young Pyromancer and Kroxa. So we're trying to grind out our opponents via creating just a bunch of 1/1s to get in, via casting all of our spells and everything, and Dreadhorde Arcanist to be able to buy back all of our spells, instants, and sorceries when it attacks, and Kroxa to be able to just bolt our opponent and limit their resources, make them discard cards, and we can just constantly abuse this by buying it back with Lurrus. We can buy it back with Claim to Fame, which is really good because you can play the Claim half, bring back Kroxa, then you can play the Fame side, target Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then if you have another Claim in your graveyard, you can cast that Claim from your graveyard to bring back Kroxa again. So you can just like play 2 or 3, you can get like 2 or 3 Kroxa triggers a turn with this deck, so it's really aggressive. And then to back it up, we just have a bunch of really good stuff. So we have Fatal Push, really good in this deck. We get to just blow up our opponent's creatures, and then with sacrificing our tokens to like Village Rites and stuff, we're always going to have the Revolt trigger. We have all 4 copies of Fabled Passage, I mean, sorry. We have all 4 copies of Kroxa. This is going to sacrifice itself, so we're always going to have the Revolt trigger for this to be pretty consistent. We also have all 4 copies of Thoughtseize to be able to take cards out of our opponent's hand, 2 copies of Cling to Dust to exile cards from the graveyard, draw some cards, the 3 copies of Village Rites to be able to draw cards of our own, 4 copies of Shock to be able to hit our opponent in the face, deal with their creatures, and we can buy all of these back with our Dreadhorde Arcanist. And the only spells that we can't buy back with this are the Claim to Fame and the Call of Deathweller if we don't fame the Dreadhorde Arcanist. So we're playing 2 copies of Call of Deathweller. Claim is better, in my opinion. I think it's way better, especially since it has an Aftermath side, so you can always get some value out of it regardless of whether it's in your graveyard or not. So but Call of Deathweller is just a very powerful card. It's the only card in the deck that can buy back Lurrus, so Claim won't buy back Lurrus, that's the only drawback. We're playing 2 copies of Bedevil. This is to deal with our opponent's artifacts, creatures, or planeswalkers, and there are a lot of artifacts to deal with in this format. There's the colorless artifact deck that plays Forsaken Monument, all that good stuff, and then you have just, any particular hate. Some people play Grafdigger's Cage main board, some people play like, Sentinel's Totem or some form of graveyard exile, anything like that. So being able to deal with artifacts is pretty good. And then in the meta base, we're just playing the Fabled Passages to be able to enable the Kroxa and the Revolt triggers for our Fabled Passage. We're playing 1 copy of Blast Zone to deal with our opponent's creatures, 4 Dragonskull Summit, 4 Blood Crypt to be able to have our mana fixing, a mix of basics, 2 Phyrexian Tower to sacrifice our Young Pyromancer tokens to be able to, just accelerate a little bit. We don't need it necessarily. And then 2 copies of Castle Locthwain to be able to draw some cards. And that is the deck. I also have a sideboard in here. This is a best of 1 event, but there is a sideboard if you were curious to try it out in best of 3. That's the deck. I'll leave it down in the description below. And for today's video, I'm only going to play 1 game, just to demonstrate the deck. And tomorrow I'm going to, go back to the original setup and put out a longer form content, but for now, I just want to be able to have something up for today. I don't want the entire day to go by without there being a video up, and I know it's super late, but bear with me. I'm trying to be more consistent. So we're up against a funny mess, and our opening hand is okay. We don't have a Young Pyromancer, but we do have a Dreadhorde Arcanist, which is nice. Never punished. What can I say? We don't have the turn 1 Thoughtseize, which is a bummer. So if our opponent has a way to they're mono blue, so okay, Frantic Inventory main phase is cool. I was worried that they might have like a Spell Pierce or, some form of disruption. We're gonna play the Arcanist first, and then we'll Thoughtseize, double Thoughtseize, and Young Pyromancer. I like our opponent's sleeves. The Nahiri anime alternate art sleeves, very nice. Alright. So our opponent is most likely holding up some form of counterspell. We're going to play the Young Pyromancer first to try to get the token. We might get punished for it for not playing Thoughtseize first. Which realistically in hindsight is probably the better pick. Thoughtseize is most likely going to get countered. I guess our opponent would have to, but even if they did, they'd have to bounce the Dreadhorde Arcanist first. Yeah. That way we can't rebuy the Thoughtseize. Alright, so opponent's 4 mana. We're going to take the Teferi's Ageless Insight since that's the closest spell they're able to cast. We can double up on Dreadhorde Arcanist. They're still a turn away before they can play their Dream Trawlers. They're a few turns away, I mean. An Undo Inversion is not going to get them there anytime soon. Another Thoughtseize off the top is pretty good. Yeah, so we're going to play our Dreadhorde Arcanist, and we're going to Thoughtseize away. See what they drew into. Teferi's pretty good. Yeah, I guess I want to take that too. We don't want them to keep having resources. Get in with everything, and then we can hold up the Village Rites and sacrifice if we need to. I don't think our opponent is gonna. I mean, they might be playing like Shatter, Wrath of God, Time Wipe. There's a lot of board wipes they could be playing in these colors. Teferi's tutelage is kind of annoying, but that's okay. That's gonna help us. We might find a Kroxa. So our opponent's going to the end step. I mean, they might attack, but we're gonna grab our swamp now. Yep. Go ahead and get that damage. Sack our creature. A couple good hits. Thoughtseize in this against them all day. All day. Yeah, doesn't matter. We're gonna be able to take both, so that's good. I'll actually hold up the Cling in case they try to bring any of their permanents back somehow. I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna Thoughtseize again and just get rid of the Dream Trawler. We are down to 9, so we're gonna go down to a virtual 6. Other spells in our graveyard. Village Rites is good. We can play out our other Dreadhorde Arcanist. Hope our opponent doesn't top deck a board wipe. Oh, there goes a Fatal Push. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Okay, well, we'll take one of the Dream Trawlers regardless. Bedevil isn't bad. So, first one I'll bring back is... How many cards are in their hand? None? Okay. 40. Alright, well, I'll just play Lurrus first. I'll just, you know, I'll grab that first. Clean the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Pass it up. Man, not a single Kroxa so far. Have we seen Kroxa this game? We have not. There's a Fatal Push. That's cool. Well, now we're in a pretty decent spot. So I'm actually going to play our Lurrus first. Don't have nothing to counter or anything, so... Play our Young Pyro boy. We're gonna get Village Rites, we're gonna cast Village Rites, and we'll sack the... yeah, we'll sack the Pyromancer. Our opponent might draw into another top deck board wipe, but that's fine. If that is the case, it happens. I like this deck because it really grinds your opponent out very much. There he is. There he is. Papa Kroxa. What's going on, buddy? Alright, forces the interaction, which is cool. Now our opponent's gonna lose 3 life. Yeah, so I guess we pay the 2 life and just bring back Kroxa, right? I mean, our opponent put a bunch of cards in our graveyard. Don't want to exile all this good stuff. Get rid of this. Boom. Puts our opponent down to 5. The Dreadhorde Arcanist puts them down to 4, and then we can... We'll cling to dust, actually. Get rid of the Dream Trawler. We're at 32 cards left in library. Alright, chase this card. Good game, opponent. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you for watching. That's the deck. I know it's a short video, but I hope you enjoyed the gameplay for today. Leave a like if you did. If you did not, leave a comment down below for a deck you would like to see next. I know this is a short form, but we are going to remain long form content in the future. And consider leaving that like in this, just the comments and all that good stuff. It really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you are a viewer and you're not already subscribed, and please consider hitting the bell so you can stay up to date with all the content that I'm trying to provide for all of you guys. So with that, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.